I'm getting set up over here on TikTok as well as YouTube Live. Hello, hello. Let me make sure I can see all of your chats over here before we get started.
TikTok has a new feature.
Okay. Let's see. Turn down my music a little bit too because hello, hello. I was listening back to the recording on YouTube Live for you guys, and it was pretty loud, so I wanted to make sure that you can hear me when we're listening back. Get my lineage going. Hi, Teresa. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to Human Design Hotline. Hi, Ladora. How are you? Happy Wednesday. I need to think about what day it was. Let me do this. Oh, the air bubbles coming out of our lip gloss. My lip gloss. Alrighty, but happy Wednesday. Welcome to Human Design Hotline. You're just getting started here. My name is Brenna. I'm a human design reader, mentor, and astrologer of 9.5 years, teaching you all about the nitty-gritty and fun things that pour into human design and astrology. The transits have been crazy, so if you have kept your sanity up until this point and you're still here and able to tune in onto a live, I applaud your efforts greatly because all the people that I've been chatting with, they're like, what is happening? Like, everyone's feeling it. Everyone is in their feels in some way, shape, or form. So, hi, Claudia. That's totally normal. Claudia, I am so sad because I'm going to be away when you are in PA. Hi, Charlotte. How are... Okay, Charlotte. Oh, I have Caroline that I was thinking to. Hi, Charlotte. Nice to see you. I was getting you confused with the Caroline that I had connected with over in my Patreon. But hello. Nice to see you. But Claudia, because I just found your IG to follow you back. I didn't realize you had followed me or like just did not put the dots together. And I was so excited to see your event that you'll be at in Pennsylvania. But I was like, no, I want to be traveling. So that day I won't be here, but there will be more. I always say those things are like the event, they're an event, not the only event we'll ever have, right? But it's funny. Hi, Kritika. How are you? There's a woman that we are mutuals with that is in the Botanica that I go to, like my local one, that's our mutual, and Evilise. So I don't know if you know her personally, but I got a couple things from her recently. And she opened like not too long ago, but like we're like, you know, neighbors. Like she's like my local store. So I don't know if you've been to her place in person, but it's cool. It's just cool, right? Like it's such a big, small world. And like, you just never know, right? Like, yeah, it's an amazing store. When I walked in there, I was like, she has to be a projector. And I was like, you're definitely a Scorpio. And she was like, I'm gonna have you back. Like we need to connect. I was like, I could just tell right away, like from your energy. Because she just like is so knowledgeable, and also going in there, which I love about like a good Botanica or like any type of like spiritual store, because she is, I don't remember her exact background. Hi Steph, how are you? While I'm telling the stories and we're chatting here, if you guys want to drop your big 3 in astrology and or your energy type in human design, your profile, your authority, anything you want me to know that you want to share, you guys can do that in the comments below. I always say that like we tend to end up having the same placements, or you guys kind of connect in some way, shape, or form. So it kind of just gives me a read on like, where are you guys at? Like, I'm a manifesting generator. Give me some juice to respond to, because like I'm truly here, like as Steph is, my fellow beautiful Pisces, fellow sun. We're 2 days apart. I like to talk with you guys, not at you guys, because I talk to myself all day long. So whatever you need, I am your girl. And then for some more housekeeping, hi Kritika, if you guys would like me to do a 10-minute personal reading for you, I have YouTube, YT, up on my left-hand side here. They're 10-minute readings, and they are $13 at the link in my bio. I keep them affordable for all parties, just so that you can have it. And then I started recording them this year, so that you guys get a link via email after our session, so that you can watch it again and again. And so with that being said, a lot of the readings that I'll do, I'll try to keep it as like general, but also specific to your problem. I'm really big on practical integration. So you could leave here, watch the reading again and be like, oh, okay, like that's how I triage that. That's how I know, how to be more consistent with my energy or my design. I talk about human design and astrology together. Yes, Amanda. Oh my gosh, I love your placements. I know that I could go out with you and the best restaurant and you've already looked at the menu. You're like, okay, what's the vibe? Are we chill? Like, are we going and being like, are we hot girls like in the summer today? Like you have that, hi by no, how are you? You have the energy. You got all the connects. I love a good manifester. Hi, Bino, how are you? It's nice to see you. It's so funny because I randomly look at my mentions on TikTok. Like sometimes people will mention me in a comment or repost me to their story. And I remember like not that long ago that I saw, but it was like after I saw it, you were sweet and posted a video after one of the readings I did for you. So I always like to see your face. You have such great grounded energy. Yeah, Leo. Okay, so we have a lot of our Leo placements tonight. I'm seeing a theme, Leo and Virgo. Happy belated birthday, Ladora. Hi, Ryan. Thank you for following. If you're a golfer, I was just talking about Liberty National Golf Course. I'm a Jersey girl, so I'd gone to the President's Cup there one time. That was interesting. This is, oh God, way back when. I am not a golfer. I just knew somebody that was able to get me tickets, and I brought my uncle who is a golfer. Let's see. Let's see if this candle works. I'm like fourth, I'm to the end of my chakra candles. Fourth matches a charm. But let me just read for a couple of you guys. Yeah, you're welcome. I remember my people. Happy early birthday, Kritika. Yes, Aquarius Sun, Catman Scorpio Rising, self-projected projector. Yeah, I will. It's so funny that you commented. Well, I mean that you're here today too, because I just commented back to a self-projected projector today that wrote on my energy of the day videos, because I say at the end, like, if you guys want a tip. Yeah. Oh, but yesterday. Oh, happy belated. There you go. Oh, happy belated. What a perfect time. Yeah, early Virgo. I love an early Virgo. I always say, like, I was having this conversation with a fellow friend, an astrologer, yesterday, that even though there are technically no cusps in astrology, really, if you have, like, Kritika, for example, if you are a very early degree Leo, hi Jew, welcome. If you are a very early degree Leo or Virgo, you do have a flavor. Hi Dare. You do have the flavor of Leo, right? Early degree Virgo has a flavor of Leo. And in human design, we actually do. Hi Juno, welcome. It's just similar energy. So it's really interesting to kind of see. Yes, Claudia, Gemini sun and moon. Yeah, it's Scorpio rising. Scorpio risings too, statistically, like Charlotte, like Claudia, is actually the most common. I am into tarot. I am more so for myself. Like, I feel like for me, I just need like a vocabulary word or something to respond to. Tarot is kind of like an affirmational tool or a means to an end, but I do, because I'm a 1-3 in human design, if that means anything to you, if you're from that vein or know of it, where I'm like, I need a good like OG teacher to like walk me through all of tarot. But like, I still, even for my decks in and of myself, like I'll still pull. I've still done readings for people. I can definitely do that. Yes, 1-3. Listen, we love being a good teacher. Yeah. The Rider Waite. I have the OG Rider Waite, so it's like reciprocity. Is this going to be reciprocal, right? But I just have the OG. Yeah, exactly. Yes. I'm like, but wait, there's more. See, I told you I don't need it. I know what you want anyway. Yes. I mean, so many of the cards, so many of the water. I get a lot of water signs as a Pisces. I'm a progressed Pisces. Oh, yay. I'm so glad, Juno. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's why, like, my goal, especially as Bino or anyone who has a 1 in their profile, my 1-4 is like Steph. I just really love teaching people. And part of what, like, I made a video this time last year that was talking about human design. That's been getting some traction. Hi, Chelsea. Because there's a human design coach that is on a reality TV show. I think it's Perfect Match, or like, it's not Love Island UK, but it's kind of something like that. And he is a splenic projector. So Steph, you and I will have like a field day just like observing that. I have not watched it. I love a good reality TV show, but my time watching TV has been shorter as of late. But all that to say, that if you have a 1 in your profile, like we're really big on being teachers, and on that video, yes, and especially being a non-sacral too, Steph. Oh my God, being a 1-3, like I really do like to give people good educational content that isn't always behind a paywall, because one of the comments that somebody had just made, oh Andrea, I love that 141 splenic projector, I love that juxtaposition cross. You are like 1% of the population like that. At having a juxtaposition cross, you're more rare. So like you're a rare energy type with a rare authority by the rarest energy type. Yes, the exemplary human. So that's Jenna Zoe. I always know what vein people come from. The exemplary human. So as a 6-2, you're the role model and the hermit. What people don't know, and what you won't get from the free version of that app, is that if you haven't gone through, yeah, Andrea, I mean, I love such good energy. You could be a lot lighter, although very serious. Splenic mirrors very much so to a sacral. But if you are the exemplary human, if you have not yet been through your Saturn return as a 6 line, you actually are operating as a 3, hi Leona, up until your Saturn return. So when you're operating as a 3, it's like, oh, whatever year, Juno, you are over 30, if and when, 30 comes around. I always say that if I have somebody that is a 4-6 or a 6-2, or you're 4-6, Steph, or a 6 in their profile, if you're 31, you're really like a 1-year-old adult. So like truly, 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 your 20s are such a time to explore and to tinker, and to play. I will say, so we're about 11 minutes into my YT live when I started talking about that for you. This recording goes live right after. So Juno, if you want to like listen back to that, we're about 11 minutes in. So yeah, Steph, I so felt that when I was around 30, like a baby adult. It's so true. And then every one of our years, yeah, right? I feel like what's cool, Steph, about like having a 6 in your profile and being a 4-6 is like, the next, like from 30 to 50, you're really building your community. And then around 50 is when it's like, oh, now everybody's on board with this thing. And this girl that seemed, this woman that seemed really out there. But like the life of a projector, a manifestor, and a reflector is like people sleeping on you because you're way ahead of your time. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, wait, this person's so cool. And you're like, yeah, I've been trying to tell you for 30 years that I'm dope, but like you slept on me, right? But it's like everyone gets their flowers. If you are consistent and, obviously which you will be, I have no doubt about that. And being a self-awareness coach, like it's just a matter of time. And it's not if it'll happen, it's when it'll happen for you. And I truly believe that. I always say that you guys in Patreon, my projectors are my biggest group, and my non-sacrals are the ones that jump in really quickly. Because for context, I used to be in arts and music management. Yeah, of course. I understand. Like, I mean, I know because from one Pisces to another, this Saturn going retrograde, these retrogrades, all of the very early degree 0 and 1 degree transits that are happening with the outer planets are like really impacting. And Neptune retrograde has been a really long time. So I'm 31. And so I turned 31 in March. I started human design when I was 22. So yeah, a lot of retrogrades. When I was 22, I'm an art historian. I went to a college called Fordham, which is in the Bronx. Hi, Marie. In New York City. I'm from New Jersey. Some of you may or may not be able to hear an accent on me. And so I left my 4-year university degree. Hello, beautiful. And I was like, I don't want to be in a library anymore. But it's funny because what I always say has helped me is the fact that like when you're studying art history, yeah, do you know it? Dude, I'm almost 50. Andrea, you're going to be aging like fine wine. All projectors do when they listen. But yeah, I went to Fordham and I worked. So many things, so much lore. I'm a manifesting generator, if you couldn't tell just by the 30 seconds that I spoke, just about that alone. But all that to say, like just gesturing to the picture behind me, like iconography is like tarot. It's like, okay, swords mean, are related to certain zodiac signs. A shell and her dress doesn't just mean she's wearing a pretty dress. It's like, thank you, Steph. This means that she's talking about like fertility and spring. And so it's like nothing that we do. And this is something that like I filmed my Patreon training for September, because every first of the month, you guys that are in Patreon, as the ones of you that are here that know, get a new video training about how to do something for your energy type the first of each month. And then you also get a complimentary reading. So shameless plug or shameless reminder for my Patreon people, today and tomorrow are the last 2 days to get your complimentary reading. Yeah, thank you. So basically learning iconography also makes it easier for me. Hello, my YouTube crew. I'm talking on TikTok where the chat is also, so I'm not ignoring you guys, or don't think that you're missing anything. But that teaching myself or learning how to read iconography in college is what expedited me being able to pick up reading aspects of human design easier and saying like, oh, okay, when your sun is in this house, this is what this means, because my brain has just been university speaking, but also universally trained to be able to do those things. So a lot of people are like, you know, how did you learn this so easily, or why does it's when you read a book, you know, about human design, it's like, whoa, how do you do that in such a short time? So yeah, yeah, Dara, I'm telling you, like, hi, Bren, like because it's truly like, for me, it's human design. For you guys, it may be human design too, but there's so many other subjects and amazing things. Shadow work like Andrea does, like anything you guys are interested in that like you can have as equally of a passion or a bright light for. I just know, hi Megan, hi Cielo, at my core, like I really do love helping people. And as you know, I always call myself kind of like a stern mom, like as firm as I am, like I really do love and want the best for people at the end of the day, at the risk of sounding corny, but like that truly is a motivator, you know, and I'm an Aquarius rising. So it's like that being a motivator for me to, you know, help people just find some sort of peace or directive guide for doing what they do. I think any of us that are here that are practitioners, that truly is like, okay, what's the easiest way that I can help people in a way that's most sustainable for me, where I'm pouring out from my overflow, you know, and, you know, shadow work, like I said to Andrea, or self-acceptance for Steph, like it just makes so much sense that Steph is also in this work. You know, as a fellow Pisces sun, we both have the same incarnation cross in human design, which is your life theme and your life purpose. I also read from this book for you guys. Hi, Jennifer, during the reading. So yeah, thank you. I really, I always say like we're the Aquarian humanitarian, because we really do have a love for all people. And that's why, like, as deep as I go in my readings, hi, spiritually seeking, I come out and I do have a level of detachment at the same time, because I have to, because I'm like, okay, like we're a well-oiled machine. I got, you know, you got 10 minutes of my time. Let's go. Like you paid me your $13. Like I'm in it. We're doing it, you know, and how do we bring everyone together? Thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, this is like what doing the work looks like, right? It's like I'm able to live in levity because I'm a Scorpio moon. I have 5 planets in Scorpio, Jupiter being conjunct my Scorpio. You know, for those of us who are 94 babies, some of us that dealt with that, but it's like, I say that we're like vultures. We're like our purpose sometimes. Hi, Ellington. It's good to see you. Yes, not existent hair flip. Rising, exactly. Like we're vultures because vultures are supposed to, or raccoons. Like we do eat the garbage, but we're also very clean about it because we're meant to alchemize it. And just being a very fast alchemizer, like I'm an Aquarius Mercury as well. So Mercury on my ascendant, because Mercury is the closest planet to the sun. Fun fact, your Mercury is only going to be about 1 sign or so, or 2, away from whatever your sun sign is as well, Pisces sun. Just to say that, but fun solar system facts at the same time. But truly the 1 in our profile, so my 5 ones as well, like we really just do love to teach people, and like everything I learn I want to pass on. It's funny because now in the days of ChatGPT, a lot of people, I'll mention in a second, spiritual, a lot of people don't realize why I don't get back to them so quickly. And so I'm like, no, because I don't ChatGPT my answers to you. Like I'm sitting down and I do a little bit of channeling where I'm like, what does Catalina need to hear? What does Dara need to hear? What does spiritually seeking need to hear? And pulling that in terms, hi Malia, in terms of channeling what I also know in my big brain. Hi Rachel. About human design. Like, what do I remember from the Rolodex? And, you know, I feel like Doctor Strange sometimes, you know, it's just crazy. Yes, exactly. 2 signs for Venus. Yes. Yes, at 1 sign. Thank you. 1 sign before or after sun sign. Thank you. Thank you. Putting it in projector succinct words. You're like, okay. Projectors also are like, okay, manifesting generator, let me help you clean this up a little bit. So Malia coming in clutch there. Oh, let me see. So let me go back. I'll answer spiritually seeking and then dare. I'll just pin the comment so that you guys can see. Oh, let me go what I am reading. I'm going in order. Again, if you guys want a reading tonight, I'm only going to be on for another like hour or so. 10 minutes, $13. Link is in my bio. You get a recording. You can ask any question you want, no matter how deep or how superficial. If it's your first human design reading, I can meet you where you're at, and then we'll go from there. You get emailed a recording. Your information is protected. But human design, my like cheeky way of saying it is it's as if you took your Myers-Briggs personality test and your natal chart and put it into one system. The more vocabulary you're going to hear, more vocabulary you'll hear is that human design is an energetic blueprint or the study of your aura. So as much as it's about our personality or how we're perceived or what we call personality, in our human oonga boonga way, it really is more so a study of your aura. So a human design body graph, this is actually a transit chart for the day that I read for the energy of the day videos. And so this is what a human design body graph looks like. So all the shapes and colors are energy centers as they're connected to the chakras. And so it's based on the same information as your birth date, time, and location. So we read the same as we would like your natal chart. It's based in Western astrology, although your left-hand side, I've worked with a sidereal astrologer on this, is your sidereal chart in UTC time. So there is a little bit of an overlap between both modalities, but I love it. For me, it's not about following the founder, worshiping at the feet of Ra Uru, who's the founder of human design, but just celebrating that it's like a bunch of different systems, like the I Ching, which is an ancient Chinese methodology, the Hindu Brahmin chakra system. It's like he took all of those and just made a really consistent way to combine them all together. So we see that as well. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. Thank you for following and liking the live too. Let me see for Dare. Let me pin this comment. So I have heard of the Akashic Records. I don't know how connected they are to past life regression. I love like any new modality. Like I always say, I'm like the forever researcher. I also think that a lot of this work is like religion. Like we found really complicated, specific rituals and ways to honor the same, collective energy that we all experience in some way, that some call God, some call, whatever the name is, Buddha. That's how I feel about it. So that's why, like, when people start arguing with me, it's funny, this card keeps coming up. When people keep arguing with me, no arguments, leading the way, or try to argue. People don't argue with me very often, but like try to be like, well, this is BS, this isn't real. I'm like, whatever just makes you feel like you know what you want to do in your heart of hearts in a way that's sustainable for you. I'm happy with that, right? Like I don't need anything more, no less. Like I'm not here to argue about what is more valid than the other, for me, including Akashic Records, but I don't know enough to speak on it as clearly. Hi, Julia. Hi, Nina. Welcome. And I have heard of the Matrix of Destiny or Destiny Matrix as well. Anytime have to say yes. Let me see, Malia. Yeah. Have you heard of, let me pin this. Have you heard of Destiny Matrix? I haven't. I can do tarot tonight if you guys want me to, if that's what you feel pulled. I really just use it as a tool for what I'm psychically pulling in. So if you guys also want to do a psychic reading with me using tarot, we could do that tonight as well if you want to just use the same link. And then just give me like a couple words or sentence or two about what it is that you want to work through, and then we could do that tonight as well. So you guys, that seems to be the energy of the night. So in true Manjun fashion, I'll go where the wind takes us. Yeah, your birth time, I can actually, as long as you know where you're born and your birthday, I can still do a 10-minute reading just on those aspects, like for an hour or like if I'm mentoring somebody, like I want the new time. Hi, Annabelle, welcome. Do you know your human design or what your big 3 is in astrology? I can give you a little tippy tip there. But yeah, so it's important for longer sessions, but you don't need to have it for a 10-minute one. No, like there's certain aspects that don't change based on your time for human design, again, because more systems go into it. It's not as important as it is for a natal chart reading, because I do like to see somebody's rising sign to give them context for like, okay, why not every Pisces sun is created equal. That's what I also like about human design too, is that I found it to be a lot more, hi Gavo, a lot more expansive within that as well. Like if you don't know, like, you know, I had somebody that I was mentoring actually that we deducted her birth time for me asking her a series of questions because she was adopted. So she actually didn't even know it was 1 or 2 birthdays. She had conflicting birthdays. So there's a lot of, you know, context clues now. That's the short story long. But yeah, what was I saying about, yeah, Destiny Matrix, I haven't looked into it yet. I think it's interesting. It actually looks a lot like, if you guys have heard of Gene Keys before, Richard Rudd, who's wrote this book about the Gene Keys, was actually a student of Ra Uru Hu, who is the creator of human design. So when you look at your pearl sequence in Gene Keys, it's the same thing as your incarnation cross. Same 4 gates, same 4 Gene Keys. So Gene Keys goes more so into, as you probably guessed from the name, your genes and your DNA. Because a big part of human design is also like we are made from the same star stuff. So like when we are born, right, like at a certain date and time, it's the subatomic particles that were also active in the universe, in the cosmos, if you will, at the time that you were born. So that's part of where we get your sun gate. In human design, which is 70% of your strongest gift. That's another refining factor from your energy type. So it's funny because I've seen a couple people that are bigger creators that are starting to get into human design, and they'll be talking about projectors. And there's one guy, I want to say his name's like Matthew or Michael. He's bald. He has a mustache. And he was talking about being a projector. And it was funny because even in his description as projectors, I was like, yes, that's generally true. Like, I'm not yucking anyone's yum, and I'm not the type of person that's going to go in there and, like, you know, the worst thing to do is, like, give unsolicited advice, but then unsolicited advice to a projector is, like, a slap in the face because it's the last thing that you guys can do is give unsolicited advice. You have to wait for the invitation. But, yeah, it's just that kind of energy of, like, some of the things that he was saying, I'm like, oh, he probably actually also has gate 15, and that's more of a gate 15 thing than a projector thing. But just like, you know, when you start listening and know more about astrology or human design, you can start to hear those nuances also. So, you know, and that's part of like why it's a practice of mine, right? To like be able to like graciously correct those things. But you know, I'm not just going in and being like, well, this is why this is wrong. Like, and actually, as a human design mentor, like, I hate those, like, I hate that. I don't want to be that person. Like, if you didn't ask me for it, like, I don't need to give it to you. If it, like, not doing the unsolicited advice. Hi, Caroline, welcome. But yeah, but let me know if you guys have any other questions. Let me go back and see if any comments that I may have missed. And I can keep yapping. Oh, it's May 2027 that you go into your Saturn return. Oh, okay, there you go. I love that. I mean, listen, I am an Aquarius rising, so Saturn is my traditional ruler, and then Uranus is my modern ruler. So I just pretty much finished my Saturn return, although it's dipping back in, and I can feel it, but I actually think that if you're 27 to 28, your nodal opposition is arguably more difficult. So if you are around 27 to 28 and listening to those lessons, it's kind of like the first taste of your Saturn return, where it's like, are the people and the places and the things that you're involved in right now, if they don't feel good, then like now's a time for you to let them go and to kind of reassess and be like, okay, like this is good. I'm cleaning some things out so that like when you hit your Saturn return, your entire world, you know, you're not getting your shit rocked. Like a better way to say it, your entire world doesn't feel crazy. Hi, Janet Planet. Wow, I love that. If you are into anything planetary spiritual, amazing name, synchronicity. I love a good alliteration. Yeah, do you have any tips for Chiron and Pluto in the second house? Yeah, I mean, the short end of it, without like doing a full reading, just for respect of anyone who's ever paid me, is honestly watching your money and your daily routines that are tied to money. So like what that also tells me when Pluto is there is that like it's going to keep dragging you through the mud if you don't allow yourself to learn the lessons the first time you go through them. As a projector, especially because I know you, but as a projector, you know, over time, you guys also really want to look into like, okay, you're the seers, right? So if you see somebody else that's gone through certain things that feel very related to the Chiron and Pluto that you have in your second house, like you can kind of watch somebody go through something as a projector and be like, I definitely don't want that shit to happen to me. So like, I'm gonna clean my side of the street, right? Like, so like, how do I make sure that I'm double checking? I'm making sure that my side of the street is clean. You know, Chiron in any house, but especially the second house, is really like money wounds. I usually see people that have this placement that grew up in, I've had people that were adopted. So like the, you know, conversations around money were crazy. You know, just having to watch out for that. This tip can still be applied with Saturn in the second house, right? Yeah, I would say that because Saturn's an elongator. Saturn is good things happen over time. That like all the money and the mindset stuff that you work on, the daily routines, it is really true for Saturn in the second house that the macro builds into, the micro is the macro over time. So Saturn, because I was just talking about my Saturn return, hi Koala, is so slow and steady wins the race. So like when you allow yourself to really go through and it's like, okay, so yeah, oh my gosh, yeah, it was so nice to connect with you. I'll also be back on tomorrow at 7:30 and I'll be on for another like hour or so, 45 minutes for those of you who want to hop in and get a reading before I'm out. But I'll be back tomorrow as well. Thank you, Koala, I appreciate you. But yeah, what else was I gonna say? Yeah, so Saturn in the second house would be more so like you have to do things more by the book with Saturn. Saturn's like Big Daddy Saturn energy. That's why people say that, because it really is like, if you have a good divine masculine in your life, like Saturn, it's like rewards the hard work that you put in. So second house, especially as it relates to finances, is also like, okay, when you put in the work, I see you putting in the effort to like be at this job, to do the hard things, to show up consistently. You know, and even though it doesn't feel good to exercise, we know inherently that exercise and working out is actually good for us. So that's why we do that. Yeah, worked on that for so long, but I'm following perfection year 2. So it follows me everywhere at the moment. Yeah, so you're like, I literally couldn't ignore this. It's like, if this were a flashlight, it's like just shining right in your eyes right now. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense too. We were just kind of like, okay, how can I work on this? Our wounded healer is like the things that we can, how do I word this? Let me think for a second. Like our Chiron is like the wound that we learn to heal ourselves. We then go on and teach that to other people. So it's like other people that can have the same Chiron as us, like me being a 94 baby, I have a Virgo Chiron, right? Like we're kind of like the clean freaks, the people that are really wanting to be organized and succinct and like just create a lot of cleanliness is also a really big thing for a lot of Virgo Chirons, but also it's why so many people that are millennials are the first to talk about, for different, also Pluto Scorpio generation, to talk about mental health, but Virgo, also us being in Virgo season right now, is where the anxiety comes from. So there's just so many people that I see that are flailing right now and actually not realizing where they are participating in also like, hi Trayvon, their own kind of like, you know, and not taking the time. It's like, oh, okay, I wanted to go live for 3 months and now, you know what, I'm just going to rip off the Band-Aid and do it. And then they announce the live and it's like, oh, this is like not the way that you could have gotten like 20 people instead of 2 people that are kind of like half-assed, like connecting with you. So it's a lot of that kind of energy right now for sure. How is a nodal reversal versus Saturn return? So it's going to depend specifically for you, hi Joe, on how the planets are aspected. So like, let's say you have a Scorpio North Node and that's your only placement in Scorpio, right? Hi, Koala. And that's your only placement in Scorpio, but like, see, you have your Saturn, you have like 10 planets, you know, just being exaggerating because I'm dramatic, like 10 planets in Pisces and you have a Pisces Saturn, it's going to change how it's flavored. For my personal experience as a Scorpio North Node, and going through that nodal reversal or nodal opposition, versus my Saturn return, because I was so ruthless like with, you know, who I was cutting out, what I was doing, how I spent my day. Like, I didn't give a fuck about anyone but me first, and I didn't make apologies for that. It was like, because I do care so much about my people, I'm talking about like, no, you can't call me at 3 a.m. about the same guy that clearly doesn't give a shit about you. It's like that kind of energy. So, just like not wasting my time, right? Which is also a very big like Saturn and Pisces thing too. It was kind of like all the things during my nodal reversal prepared me to refine the themes during my Saturn return. Yeah. Cause I also like with my personality, like I'm somebody that like, as long as it doesn't matter if we're working on the same problem. I just want to see that progress was made at some point, because there are plenty of people on the internet that will sit here and take your money and pull the same cards about the same guy and the same conversation. But like, I do not enjoy that. And you would be able to see the vacancy in my eyes if I was doing something like that. But like for me, right, as for every day that goes by and people get older and the next wave of kids, turn into adults at 18 and 25 and so on and so forth, like I need to be able to know that my people are going and moving with me, because we're about growing here, right? So it's like that's why there's so much of a discourse and a disservice that's done to people that are in this space, and people not taking them seriously, because there are, Julia, I know, I feel like you're my girl when it comes to this. Like, Julia walks the walk and talks the talk as well as a fellow practitioner, but like, just that energy of like, the Cookie Monster pajama pants girl that comes up and does tarot card readings, but like just because she like needs to make money for something, versus like someone who actually knows their craft and has a reverence for like doing the work. Yeah, exactly. That's why I say like I'm like a tough love girl, you know what I mean? Like I'm serious about it, but Mars is also on my ascendant. Like the fact that I didn't do volleyball, but I could have done it professionally, and you guys would have just seen me, doing volleyball professionally, watching, me on the TV at Planet Fitness at the gym or something. I don't know. But like, I just would have chosen, that kind of path where like very much so in my energy is like, all right, you got this. Like you put in the reps, like do the steps and you reap the rewards. Like it's just about time in the saddle. So yeah, but it's like, some people can handle it. Some people can take it with my energy, it's like the ouch is like, I see you to it and I can call it out, but it's like, also within my energy is like where people don't expect a woman to be able to say things with directness, so it's like, I'm not saying things to be mean. I don't have a point to prove about how much I know and being like, the Jillian Michaels of Human Design. Like, look how that turned out for her with that Netflix documentary about The Biggest Loser. Just the name in and of itself. Like, I don't have a need to call people, kick people when they're down. But it's like also knowing that like, if you have people in your life that have been historically mean to you in a direct way, but you haven't had somebody that's had tough love, from a nurturing perspective, you can misinterpret my directness as like trying to be mean, but it's like, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Like that just means that I'm not your person, and then you're probably meant to work with somebody else anyway, so I know, right? A crazy name for a show. I see that so much too. About how like the early 2000s diet culture, I mean, there's so much I could say when it comes to things like that, like just the energy that we grew up in the early 2000s. And I think in this day and age too, it's like it kind of, as a practitioner or just somebody that's an entrepreneur or in the spiritual space, like the disclaimers can get exhausting. I literally just said the other day, like half the time, part of what I know is like I literally am teaching people like critical thinking, not from a condescending place, but like we need to understand iconography. This is the picture, but it's not just a pretty picture on a shell, right? It's really not that. It's when we're talking about something like this, right? It's like we're talking about fertility. There's other things going on here. As somebody with 5 planets in Scorpio in the 10th house, right? It's my job. It's literally what I meant to do for you guys, to say, hey, this is how we're critically thinking through the lens of human design, right? Like this is what you guys need to be seeing. But I'm also aware that, I'm on this app and there's certain things that I have to, be cautious of. That's why I made, I have Patreon, we have our private circles, more things that I can talk about more transparently. Yeah, transparently, but also like, yeah, I'm aware that I'm, you know, I didn't kick down the door and go into this house and sit on their couch and start abusing it, knowing that it's not mine, right? So those are also critical thinking about like not getting all upset and getting your guts twisted into a knot when, you know, hi Claudia, hello, when Plutonian Princess, hello, it's nice to see you, hi, Lauren, yeah, when like we, you know, whatever happens in this platform, like just being aware that like, you know, you gotta think 10 steps ahead, and like as an Aquarius rising, I'm doing that for you guys. So yeah, exactly. So many ways. Hi Anna. And that's like the beauty of Happy Libra Moon Day. That's the beauty of like each of us having, you know, if all of our confetti is in the same kaleidoscope, each of us takes a turn moving the confetti, and the way that we move the confetti, aka explain something to somebody, is always going to resonate with our people. King of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, excuse me. So having that too. But Ladora, this is so funny. I'm pinning Ladora's comment because this is a funny human design teaching moment. So Ladora goes, you hungry? You made 2 cookie references. No, because I did eat. I actually had s'mores for my dessert before I came down to my office. But I have taste as my strongest sense in human design. So a lot of references that I make usually have to do with food. It's literal taste. Like, you know, I couldn't just have a plain Jane, you know, white counter here. I had to have something that like had a design to it, and my crystals have to be, you know, a certain way and a certain shape and so on and so forth. I have to get the aesthetic matches because it's literal taste, like taste of food being so important to me. And yeah, making food references as well. So that's the short story of that. But I don't know if anyone else knows their taste in human design. That's also something you can talk about too. Yeah, Plutonian Princess. Oh my God, I have a Libra moon. I almost never catch you on here, even though I came across you on YouTube. I know. Well, this is the thing, because I stream through an alternative platform. So I don't stream directly through YT, just so I could see both at the same time. Excuse me. What was I gonna say? Oh, but I'm live every Wednesday and Thursday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, Julia, let me read to you actually. So I have my little notes here. So I actually have, if you look up, it's a video where I'm wearing my blue sweater over my shoulders, and I was like, baby, can you tell me what's your motive? That was my most played song of 2021, as Motive by Ariana Grande. But I was talking about motivation. And so in short, before I read to you this description, innocence motivation is about maintaining childlike innocence. You growing up in foster care is like literally your ability to always celebrate a childhood that was challenging. You know, even if you had the best foster parents, like in the world, right? There's still energy that's charged around that being the experience of your childhood. So basically when we're looking at that, it's like, how can you maintain a little bit more of childlike innocence? Hi, me, welcome. Or personita favorita. Yo practico mi español. But I always say that when someone that speaks Spanish comes in here, because I'm like, I need to practice. My fiance is Cuban. So always practicing. Hold on, I'm trying to do too many things at one time. Brain not working, need to slow down. Oh, here we go. Oh no, don't go away. Yeah, so what I wrote down is you like to learn a lot on your own, but to be somewhat healthily detached from other people. You are one to share information with them, but not to be the one that holds their hand as they implement it. That's why when I say not being people's legs in a relationship, but also there can be a balance, right? Of like knowing that when you do this type of work, there also is a level of hospitality that has to happen. Like, give credit where credit is due. Like I always say, like I had somebody that I had to block that was literally like going to my page, followed me, would, you know, try to butter me up by saying, hello, oh, welcome from Brazil. It's on my list of places to go. But was saving all my videos, and I could see, you know, it's the key indicators. They save all your videos, but they don't like all your videos. And I went into one of her lives, and she was like, oh, Brenna, hi, you know, nice to see you. She's a projector. This is the not good use of being a projector. Everything, you know, everything has a good side and a bad side, you know, depending on what wolf you feed, sort of thing. And I left the live for a second because I was like, her energy is kind of weird. And so I left, and she goes into this whole dialogue that's literally my exact vocabulary, also undefined throat, my exact vocabulary for how I explain everything, and was then talking about how Three of Cups, about how you can make human design, or you can make a course using human design and AI in 25 minutes. And I was like, oh boy, and I was like, what's crazy is that if you actually put in the effort to go on a live with me and do the right thing and be a good human being, I would have interviewed you for my podcast, brought you up in Patreon as somebody who could be another fellow practitioner to share with other people. But instead, you wanted to get bitter about the fact that you weren't being recognized and didn't want to give the right people their flowers. So I'm like, now you're blocked. So your source of information, if you want to do the work, or give credit where credit is due, you can read the book like the rest of us. But it's like, the whole thing, and what I was talking about earlier with that human design, like, is human design, is it a cult or not? I made a video about that last year just to start a dialogue around it, because I wanted to also give people just the space to have I miss a good debate. Like, remember when we used to do mock trial in high school, and people could have a healthy debate, and it was clear sides and research that was done. I really know that there are a lot of people that are craving that, but there's drowning out of the energy of the 10% of people that are just so loud and so wrong and lack being able to critically think so loudly that it's now people need to preface themselves, and now by the time they preface themselves, it's the point, we're already exhausted because we haven't gotten to the point. But what I was saying to that person, full circle to what I started, 45 minutes ago, I can't believe I've been on here 45 minutes already, is that they had commented, well, how is it not people grifting when everything's behind a paywall? And I'm like, we just sat and talked at 45 minutes about human design. Have one of you paid for anything at this point? No. You just have to be willing to do the work that's needed to find the good people that aren't behind a paywall. But it's kind of when you want a red car and you start to see a red car everywhere, that's what you get. But if you don't want to believe that there are people that aren't putting things behind a paywall, right, then that's what you're going to see. But it's also it's always the no profile picture, their username was nugs something. It was just I could just tell that it was a confirmation bias versus actually being able to see the other side. And I responded people like that, I can also have I see both sides, right? So I'm I'm going to give my mentor piece because it's also my page. It's public. I'm going to respond to correct it kindly. But I'm listen, bro, there's you could go to a library, look at the human design books, take pictures of them and not even have a library card. You could go and look at that if you wanted to. You could go and, I have YouTube videos. I talk about the transits of the week every single week for free. And I go through each of the profile lines. If you have gate 59, for example, gate 59 to the first line through the sixth line. So you literally could just binge all of my content that I've put up until this point and put your chart together if you wanted to, or if you couldn't afford a $50 reading with me. But what you're paying for is also the ease at which I've condensed all this information. I've sat with your chart, and it's literally you're buying an hour of me to spend time with me and to do that research and work for you. So it's if you want me to do it, this is what it costs, but it's not behind a paywall because I'm just trying to be a grifter. It's because I'm an introvert, believe it or not. If you want access to me, this is what it's gonna take. And even that is low. There are human design readers that are charging $250, up to I've seen readings that go for $800, but that person is also allowed to charge $800 if that's the lift it's going to take them to do a 1 hour, right? And there's some people that will pay that. Everyone has a different business structure and a different business model for that reason, right? Where it's that's also what I love about human design. It's not a one size fits all methodology. We are all different. We all have different birth charts. Our businesses all work in different ways. And that's why it takes if you are looking at a coach and they only have a one-track mind for how they're doing something, you're probably not going to be able to, unless it's something a technical skill. This is a way to use upload videos to YouTube. If it's something how to navigate business and getting paid in business, which is primarily what I do mentorship for, I'm looking at the nuances of it as an objective observer, not Brenna Keeley, manifesting generator, trying to tell Marie, who's a reflector, how to go about making money in business. Like you have to have those levels of critical thinking and putting those ideas together to be able to be a good reader. That's why when that whole Kendra thing came out with that lady who fell in love with her psychiatrist, and she was talking about using human design as an ADHD coach, one of her clients that paid her $3,500 was like, vet your mentors, like who you can ask me who I learned from, where I learned from, it's evident in my personality, I do my research, like use your intuition. Just because if this person makes you feel uncomfortable and you don't want to learn from them, right, that probably means that there's something off in your spirit about them where you're not meant to work with them. But with that woman, for example, she was an ADHD coach that was teaching people how to get sober or like had a background in becoming sober. And then thank you for subscribing on YouTube. I appreciate you. Yay, Amy. Amy was another reflector that I read for today. I met Amy like about, oh my gosh, a year and a half ago now. But all that to say that, the person that posted that she was one of her clients that, got taken advantage of went to that woman, Kendra, looking for sober help. And I'm like, AA exists for free, right? That's the first place you should be going, not some, I understand that also when you're in an induced state, like that you're not in clear mind, but like if you are throwing $3,500 at somebody, like, bruh, like, it just scares me. Like it generally scares me where I'm like, we have to, this is why like people are so disoriented. Like we have to do better. So it's like, if I have my claim in it, I'm like, whether somebody buys a reading from me or not, like I'm still here for 2 hours, cause I like talking to you guys. Like if this is what helps and you're just like, oh, I need to lay on my bed. It's like, I literally feel like you guys, on certain nights like this, you're just on my pink velvet couch and like just need a friend, like sometimes that's what it is. And that's what it takes. Hi, gorgeous Noelle. That's what it takes to like lift the spirits of our people, like we need to be cognizant that like, that's equally as important work as well. So, koala, yeah. Let me start from Megan. At the end of the day, there's only one Brenna who can go live and talk about Ishi for hours. We love you. Oh, I'm screenshotting that. That's from my days where I'm crying in the club. I'm like, this shit is hard. Help me. Like, I have my folders of testimonials. I'm a Pisces. Like Noelle always says, like, you're a Pisces, bro. Like, you're gonna be tired too. Like, you're a little softy. My little soft fish. I'm like, I know. Thanks, mom. My Leo rising counterpart to my Aquarius rising. But yeah, it's like, this is just what it costs. This is what it takes. This is my boundary and what I'm willing to exchange for it. So, I only say that just to give you guys a perspective of like, voila, like for all of you, Noelle, who are like beautiful Plutonian priestess, like for all of you who are in this work, Julia, like just to know that like, those are boundaries that you can also have. Hi, Danny. I have my Danny Boy music box over here, from Ireland. That was my grandpa's favorite song. But that you can also have those boundaries and still be successful. And I think especially a lot of like, people who have been talked over, not just women, but like people in the spiritual space that go into this work, Marie, probably for you as well, your beautiful undefined throat, go into this work and get talked over a lot because, and then try to still put 9-to-5 structures on their career that didn't necessarily work for them, right? And then they start to go back because they have no like authority figure to tell them what to do. Where like, if I do my job correctly, I teach you how to be a good authority of yourself. My job isn't to take your power away and say that Brenna knows more, where my job is to teach you that you really do know you best. And I'm just going like this with the cobwebs in my reading for you, so you have clarity on what Marie, Megan, Noelle, Guala, Julia, like what you guys need, right? And that's what at my core is like, I did a shit job if I didn't do that. Virgo Chiron, crying in the club, like that kind of energy. Guala, because you are Leo rising too, right? Yeah. How long has it taken to get to your level? It's like you speak fluent HD. Well, one, because I love it. When I tell you, like, I literally read about it every single day. Like, I am a nerd. Like, I am a nerd hardcore, like, at my core. Very eloquent way to say that. But, like, I'm reading the definitive book of human design. I took classes from Jenna Zoe, the International School of Human Design, Robert Rahu's classes, anything that I can learn. And the biggest teacher, like truly to speak fluently, hi Rachel, is to apply this shit as a lens through your everyday life and start to get the charts of the people that you spend the most time with and observe what they do, learn human design, and then attach it at the same time. Oh, Rachel, yay. Rachel just signed up for her reading. So we'll do her in 6 minutes. But it's just a matter of like time in the saddle and duration. Like, again, I've been studying human design for 10 years now, almost 9.5, but like, it's just, there are people who could spend 9 years in medical school and still be a shitty doctor, right? It's like, if you're not doing something that you truly enjoy, like duration of time does not equal like good mentor. It's like you seriously have to have a love of it and spirituality in what you're doing, and knowing when to take breaks. Like, throughout the last 10 years, I've worked in arts and music management. I had to get a job through Schmeico Insurance as a claims adjuster because I needed to find a way to pay for my 1-bedroom apartment by myself, to get said 1-bedroom apartment so I wasn't house hopping because I couldn't live at home because it wasn't good for, like, I physically was unsafe there in my childhood home. Like, what else? I was an assistant for a podcast that also had community, which is how I learned community development, which is aka how I learned Patreon now. It's like all of those things that were happening simultaneously because I just had to be really it's literally what I just filmed for you guys in Patreon, Rachel Noel, for September's training, is like being where your feet are and really assessing like where are you truly in your life. Because if you're worried about if you're so angry about where you are now, you have to unmuck the cobwebs of where your feet are today, no matter your energy type, right? You can get mad that, people, I'm not saying for you, Guala, but like people can get mad that like they don't pick it as up easily in one day, because it's like the cliche is like it took 10 years to be an overnight success, right? When I worked in college, I was an editor at the radio station. Hi, Umberto. And I was working with C-list musicians, Leon Bridges, they're not C-list anymore. Leon Bridges, Brandy Carlisle, Gary Clark Jr., Unknown Mortal Orchestra, one of my all-time favorites. Who's the guy that Ben Folds? So that also helped me with talking on camera, right? So it's like none of those things that you're doing now are ever truly lost on your business experience and being a reader. It's like I'm still a person that has to shower and eat, and I'm a fiance, so I have a fiance that I also want to be in a relationship with. My dad is sick with an aggressive form of Parkinson's and 2.5 hours away. I'm triaging people with mental illness, and can they do readings with me? Do I have to respectfully say no? Like, those are all things that still exist simultaneously, but I'm able to do it lightly because I spend time in my joy every single day. And so that's not to be dramatic and you're like, what the fuck are you even saying? But just that's the reality of like what it sounds like up here, completely open ajna. And also, I always say too, that my dad always said life is about solving problems. He's like a quadruple Virgo. Hello from Peru. And I added on to that. So choose the problems that you want to solve, because there are people that can truly, hold on, let me do my little puzzle. There we go. There are people that can handle those types of things that I mentioned, which I really, like, I'm saying this, Guala, because, like, I know you can, right? Like, I know, like, everything that I'm saying is not something that's lost on you. Wait, let me make sure. There you go. And then I'm just going to bring Rachel's chart up on my screen over here, so let me protect her info safely. But it really is like, hello, I was going to say Aritzia. Ari Rita, oh, sorry, it was on your beautiful name was on my, it's hidden by this on my screen. Hello. But all that to say, it's like, it's about understanding that a lot of people go to entrepreneurship because they want to find a way to be lazier, right? And it's not to say, right, there's a lot of people that like to misunderstand me when I say that. It's not about, like, burnout is a real thing. Like, my nervous system I had to do a lot of reps and recovery for that shit. But, if it is something that you truly want to be doing, it's like you're still able to find the ways to do it anyway, even as a projector. But a lot of things, if the biggest advice, big sis advice that I could give you guys is knowing that part of adulthood in the world, in the way that we grew up, where things cost money to make the world go round, is that you have to do things tired. One of my best friends from childhood, I've known him since I'm 11 years old, beautiful Virgo soul, Cancer rising, Aries moon, is moving back down to the Carolinas literally next weekend, and I wasn't going to be able to see him. I am tired, right? Like, I have a lot going on, but I was like, I want to see my friend, you know, like, and because, you know, he came up here, we live 2 hours away, even from where he was in Jersey, from, you know, my childhood home. It filled me. I was tired at the moment, right? But once he got here, I was like, wow, I feel so full and I'm good tired. So it's like people are afraid. It's like that quote that's been going around that's like, what a blessing it is to be tired in the pursuit of your goals that are a life that's your dream or whatever along those lines. And you have to, especially for my generators and manifesting generators, this is really true, where it's like you have to kind of jumpstart for a week that rewrite of like being so afraid of being tired in the things that you enjoy doing that you don't allow yourself to pursue them. So, you know, and then as a projector, right, like you're refining your system over time. Okay, I was like, I had to do the conversion, but I'm going to pause there to read for beautiful Rachel, who's my gorgeous fellow projector. As Julia here, I'm going to share a little bit of my screen. Hi, Divine Feminine. Best way to break through for success as a projector? So I'm just going to do a 10-minute reading for Rachel, who has graciously paid me for my time. And then I'd be happy to answer that for you, Divine Feminine, because it's a beautiful question. She's also a projector. So we'll talk about that a little bit too. Hi, Majestic. Nice to see you. Okay, so thank you so much. I appreciate that. Arita, excuse me. Ethics for real. So Rachel, my beautiful projector that's here, and this will be helpful for all of you guys, but specifically for Rachel, who I'm tapping into her transits. It's interesting because there are a couple things that are going on right now for you, Rachel. Oh, let me write down the timestamp here, so that way when I send you a recording, you have it as well. So we're about 101. And then if anyone, we may not have a booking right after. I think we hit that window. So just bring it to Rachel. But so you, Rachel, have gate 59 like I do. Hi, Chica. So when you have gate 59, this is actually being activated by the sun. It's shining a light onto your sacral center right now. When you watch the recording on YT, when I send you the link, you'll also see it, but I'll just flip for a second to just show you that this is your undefined sacral. All of my projectors, manifestors, and reflectors, by the way, you guys all have undefined sacrals. That's part of your circuitry. Hi, Dilly Dally Princess. I love that. Gate 59 in the third line is your south node, right? So the sun is conjunct or transiting your south node for this week. It's just past it now, right? So we're seeing that. The gate 59 is the gate of bond making. So it's like, it's so fun. It makes sense that you're like, oh yeah, Brenda is my mentor. I have to email her a checklist to remind her of what I've been doing, right? Because Rachel's one of my mentees. 10th house south node, exactly. So it's like, hey, hello, remember me? Like, maybe we dust off some of the cobwebs. I know you've been working on me in this way, but like, remember, we want to still nurture this place. And so you have a gate 15 where I have a gate 5. So for me, it's much easier for me to stay on a specific regimented structure, right? That sits opposite your gate 15. So you're reaching down with your gate 15, gate of extremes, and I'm reaching up with gate 5, and we say, hey, this is gonna be a little awkward or clunky at times, but we're gonna figure out how is the best way for us to work together. If someone like me during this week, or the gate 5 energies that we experience for any Sag placements or Sagittarius energy, yeah, exactly, where I'm like, listen, because what happens is in my energy, right, Rachel, because I have gate 5 and you have gate 15, my composure can come across as like a trigger to anyone who's ever been mean to you about your gate 15. Because I have the awareness, right, for you to be like, hey, like, it's like, remember that audio that was like, hey, how y'all doing? And it was like that lady that was like walking through the door, and she's like, I know this is awkward, but like I haven't talked to you in a while. Like it's like, no, like I expect that from you as a gate 15. Like go and make your mosaics, girl. Like, okay, you're saying like, you know, painted jean jackets. Like that's what you're supposed to be doing, right? It would be wrong for me. Yeah, you say that. It would be wrong for me to like tell you or like be on your neck about like every single week. I'm like, okay, I'm reading the room in Rachel's energy. I'll touch base with her, but like I know when you go through spurts of being able to concentrate on it and when you need time, right? And that's part of these weeks for you where I was like, I know I'm gonna hear from Rachel, and you reach out to me. I was gonna reach out to you either later today, if you didn't, or tomorrow. I had my little list. So it was perfect timing, right? Like Psychic Friends Network and being a projector. So Virgo automatically, thank you, Majestic, likes to make us clean house, right? Rachel is also a 5-1 projector, by the way, Julia. So Virgo energy is like, oh, I gotta clean. Like, what are all the piles of laundry? Like, all of a sudden, I'm scrubbing the ceiling of my shower that hasn't been scrubbed in 6 months. Like, that's kind of the energy. And what's funny is that even in the irony of having gate 15 and the gate of extremes, and that those arguably, even though it's your Mars, right? Yeah, it's like, I know that that's part of your process. It doesn't mean that you still can't have the things that you want. It actually means that, ironically, what I was going to say full circle to 30 seconds ago, is that you do actually have a cadence, but it's just not one that's as consistent as like, okay, every morning I wake up at 8 o'clock and then I have my coffee and eat something for an hour. Then I post my energy of the day the Human Design way so that you guys get it in the morning. My Pacific side gets it at 6 a.m. You know, my East Coasters are getting it at 9 at the beginning of their day. You know, it wouldn't work for you like that. Where we collaborate together is that, right, like you being an artist and having a show, it's like, yeah, exactly. It's like your own kind of like, okay, every 3 months when we notice that, hi Josh, that's where the magic happens because you have your own rhythm as Rachel. So all that to say that in Virgo season for you, if it's activating, hello Josh, I hope you're having fun and settled in. I'm reading for beautiful projector Rachel right now. But, you know, during Virgo season, if you think about what house Virgo is ruled by, 10th house or ruling, you know, 10th house for you and your Placidus, that's probably going to be a time historically repeat for every year. I know. Likewise, even though I'm not a projector, I feel like an honorary part of the Cool Kids Club. That you'll notice that. Hi, Arizona. How are you? Projector in the crew. So Virgo season historically for you, Rachel, is probably always going to be that. You know, a couple other things that I'm looking at for you is that you also have closed digestion. So if I tried to insert too much of my gate 5 and manifesting generatorness, not giving you space to say, hey, you're a projector with a gate 15, you'd be like, ew, like, get away from me. Like, what are you doing? This is so aggressive. And it would feel too controlling versus like, a mentor is meant to guide you based on what your strengths are, not to belittle you for what your perceived weaknesses are. Like, have we not learned that, you know, up until this point? It's like, that's where coach versus mentor to me is very specific languaging for how I operate. I'm good, thank you. With a couple other of the transits, we also have the 1333 channel that's being activated for you. So it's creating more definition in your G center to your throat center. And then for a while, and throughout, we're actually going to also have your ego motivation center and your solar plexus defined, which is true for everybody. I'll just show you what I'm looking at here, which is causing more emotional waves. But this is where I've been talking to Noelle. It's like picking a time to cry. It's like, okay, I know that thing is really heavy, but like maybe, we can't actually talk about that right now. Like, there's a time and a place for everything. And it doesn't mean that, like, it's not okay to talk about the things that are heavy, but just like, ooh, like, I actually really have to figure, like, out how I'm gonna, you know, build this tent, for example. You know, I can't have the heavy conversation about, like, moving or something like that, right? So it's not that you are, ironically, in being emotionally organized, is causing you to hold space so deeply. Yeah, there you go, Rachel. So deeply for the emotional conversation. Because you're like, okay, I carved that out yesterday, right? That was my time to really sit. And again, Scorpio, it's the vulture. It's like we're eating up all the little garbage and the emotions to transmute it. Virgo is why, you know, Virgo Chiron for the millennials, that's why IBS is a thing. It's going down through the system. It's coming out, you know, I'll just say it, it's coming out. And then Yeah, I can imagine. Because it's like, and knowing this, at the end of the day, because this is where you and I come, yeah, I had a feeling. I wanted to check in with you on that, but I didn't want to, again, time and a place because of these transits. I was like, oh, I know you'll tell me. So that is I know. Um, my gate 28 reaching to your gate 38 Capricorn, which is, you have it on both sides. I think it's your Neptune. Yeah, as we're going through a Neptune retrograde. Your 38 is gate of the fighter. You know that you have that dog in you. You have that fight in you. My gate 28 says, yeah, I feel that's normal, literally normal. I think every emotional authority could speak to that emotion. Excuse me as I spit everywhere. My gate 28 comes down and says, hey, Rach, I'm going to define your spleen for a second and tell you, gate of the game player, what actually needs to happen right now as you're transitioning through a period of something that's really emotionally dense, but also the best thing that we can do to keep all the plates spinning in a healthy way is really learning compartmentalization. So it's like, okay, am I letting the emotions from that conversation bleed into today in my business in a way that's unhealthy? Or am I saying life is short and time is short and oh shit, this is important to me? And Virgo season is saying, let me just get myself activated so I can also tend to the things that I know that I need to tend to, that ultimately our work, right, is the ultimate catharsis for us. Like, it's the best thing that we can do to kind of alchemize. Like, the reason I'm able to know human design so fluently is because if I'm practicing it, I'm keeping my side of the street clean. Like, I'm making sure that I'm following my design. I'm calling myself out when I'm acting in my not self theme. You know, you're listening for bitterness. I'm listening for frustration. Hi, Maria. And just saying, okay, like, to your point, right? And what Divine Feminine had asked me as well, you're looking to always feel successful, right? Even in the hardest of decisions. Thank you, Maria. What is the thing that I can do right now that's going to make me feel the most successful, right? And sometimes that is the hard thing of like, damn, like I really have to take a second here. Hi, Julia. Oh, okay, I see you booked, Julia. Thank you. And compartmentalize what feels appropriate. So just know that from now until Libra season, that's pretty much going to be the consistent energy of like, this day's the hard conversation and then I work, and then it's maybe hi saltwater, a hard conversation, and then, you know, I rest, and that kind of balance. But the key core of what I can tell you, as that is always going to be true for you, is that when you feel the momentum, it's go time, right? And I'm like, okay, I got you, Rachel. Like, okay, it's go time. Like, here's the dates, and you know, you need paintings, and here I am, and I'm gonna, okay, it's go time. I'm gonna be right there with you. But also when it's a time to rest and just do, you know, I don't say just do the mosaics, but tend to something else, we really lean into the softness of that too, because that's such the beauty of your gift as a seer, because you see without even realizing it. Don't look to other people to make you feel guilty about why seeing those things in that way and that time was wrong. So just to leave you with that. Hi, Jada. Welcome. Let me know, I should say, because we have a little bit of a buffer between you and Julia, Rachel, if you have any other questions or anything else that feels like, oh, I have Brenna here, I want to ask her about that too. Oh yeah, I haven't used my Patreon reading, you know, up until today. Like, if there's anything else that you want to talk about in this moment, or if you also just need to be like, I need to digest this for a second. I know we're probably going to get on a call at some point in the not so distant future too, to talk about phase 2 or phase 2 of 222. But yeah, just to hold that in your mind's eye and in your heart as well. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. So we'll alchemize some of that stuff and just create like the cheat sheet checklist. I feel like, because a lot of, obviously with our work together, but what I do for context of what Rachel's saying too, is for Rachel being a self-projected projector, I'm her sounding board, right? So I'm like, okay, here are all these things. Hi, Kenny. But what are the top 3 that like actually have to get done right now? That's like, we can go ahead and move forward. And remember too, Rachel, for all of you guys, but for Rachel specifically for her reading, like whenever you go back to something, hi, Elvia, welcome. You're not starting over, right? You're picking up from where you left off, and getting that into your head, especially as an adult, is so important. Paying attention to that is really important. You also have Uranus on your Jupiter right now too, so we'll talk a little bit more about that. But thank you, Rachel. I'm excited. I'll email you when I'm doing my admin stuff anyway, so I'll answer you. Hi, hello, thank you. But yeah, so that way you have everything in one section, and we'll plan a time to talk and start part 2. So yeah, it's really not. I mean, Uranus is in Gemini for me right now. Uranus is one of my chart rulers, so it's like I can like pretty wholeheartedly say that I'm a coordinator of chaos in many ways, because like I know chaos, I know chaos against my will a lot of the times. But you know, it was Noelle said something beautiful to me earlier about like in the beautiful Sagittarius Mercury that she is, like my ancestors knew it was a lot for me, but like, you know, I'm the one that can handle it. I really do feel that, which is why like people don't assume that I'm going through, when I do go through challenges, like they don't assume that they're as heavy, because like I'm just really good at compartmentalizing. I know you know, Rachel. Hi, Argentina. I don't know why I'm here. Well, it's nice to meet you. That's most people on YouTube. Hello, Malaga. Hi, Catherine. Oh, yay! Thank you, Catherine. I'm so excited. I'm sorry I wasn't ignoring you guys. I have my chat over on TikTok, and I cross stream. So that's where the other chat. Okay, hour and a half. That's not bad. Yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny. That's where my grandmother was born, Julia, which is really funny. So I have a lot of ties to that area. My grandma Rose. But yeah, we have 4 minutes in between, so I'll just answer a couple of questions over on YT Live. Yeah, good night, Rachel. I'll see you soon. We'll talk within the next week or so. Yeah, it really is. That's why I'm like, it's just a matter of when we connect in somewhat divine way, outside of the interwebs, Julia, or just like me also being able to be like, hey, go here. I also would look into Easton. PA also as like a potential location. Nancy, who owns the Loving Piece, is actually doing in October on the 24th and 25th, like a witches walk. And I think it's that I just saw it quickly yesterday because of a mutual friend of mine, on Facebook. Oh my God, excuse me. But those affirmation burps, but those, that would be a place to look. So we'll talk about that. And also while I'm reading for you too, I'm kind of reading already. Noel, in the same token, but just to answer my beautiful divine feminine who is sweet to ask me the question, what's the best way to break through for success as a projector? Anytime you want to give somebody unsolicited advice in real life or in the comment section, oh, perfect, Julia, that's not terrible. In the comment section, you want to make a piece of content about that, or put it out in a piece of writing, like find a way to get the credit for that thought, because the micro things that you see so intensely are usually more macro themes that not just that one person needs to hear. The biggest place too is that just because you know better, confidence versus ego as a projector can be such a thin line. You are meant to be confident, but think of like a beautiful projector that's confident that I think about, Princess, is Obama. Obama is a projector. Does he go running around after his presidency trying to say, look how amazing I was, right? If he's asked about it, right, he'll share. But he doesn't go around trying to be like, look at me, look at me, look at me. It's that impulse to be successful, to get recognition, because it's in your DNA to get recognized, right? Same for you, Julia, too. It's in your DNA to get recognized. However, it's just making sure that we're doing it in a way that's actually aligned for your success, so that people aren't like, you know, we know you're great at what you do, but like it's a little exhausting, right? So I don't know what he is actually. It's so funny because I kind of am like drown out the bad with the good. No, you're fine. You're fine. Like there's so many other important people like you guys I'd rather focus on, is how I feel. I'm like, I'd rather read for you than put his chart into my generator. Just because it's like not putting any more ammo. Yeah. Hi, Lisa. How are you? Aw, it's nice to see you. Welcome back. But Catherine, if you're still here, let me know. I actually have a video not too long ago from this year that I made about reflectors, but you are only 1% of the population, so you're one of the more rare energy types. Hi, Hurricane. I just had a reading with a reflector today, so it's so funny because as an Aquarius rising, I'm an underdog collector, so the reflector collector is very real. We see that. Yeah, so just as I pivot over to beautiful Julia right now. So Julia is a projector, as you guys can see her chart in front of us. And Julia was asking about the transits and a deeper dive. So, you know, I feel for you, exactly, I know by the questions you ask and where you're at, Julia, that you're really trying to figure out like what is this next step in entrepreneurship for you, right? And like how can you gather resources in a way that feels sustainable? How are you going to do it? What is your schedule going to kind of look like? What I'll show you before I turn this around, one of the most important things that I can gift you with that I wish that I knew the potency of is having a gate 5 in your body graph, and also gate 29. This exists in your sacral, right? Everyone has a sacral, not everybody has it defined, and a projector is never going to have sacral definition. When you have gate 5, it is, and thank you guys so much for liking the live, it is the gift that tells you, Noelle has this as well, your natural rhythms and rituals for how you should be navigating life. You have to be so strict. The biggest fear for you can be, well, I'm not a morning person, but if I don't make myself available in the morning, then like maybe nobody will book with me. Where what you ironically have to do, right, is actually say to the universe, right, timing is everything and timing is infinite. I have to refine it to the times that work really well as Julia. What you'll hear, right, and kind of is regurgitated in the human design community that is kind of like a misnomer, if you will, is that you're only meant to work 4 hours a day. Not true for every projector, especially because you have your solar plexus defined and the root that, even though is a pressure center, it feels like more energy than an average projector, that you have also with your solar plexus defined as an emotional authority. You have a little bit more energy. It's like 4 hours of people time a day. But the other 4 hours or however many hours, if you really enjoy your craft, it's like, I always say projectors do your best work in a bathrobe. It's like, okay, the other 4 hours of the morning, let's say that 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 1, right? Those 4 hours is your robe time. You're getting ready. You're like relaxing with your coffee. You're organizing your schedule for the day. You're researching the information that needs to be researched for your people, right? And then you take an hour for lunch, maybe you shower, that's your showering time, you prepare, and then the next 4 hours, maybe you do 2 hours of mentorship, and then an hour of TikTok live, and an hour in your own community, right? And that would be a way that you could break it down into chunks, hi Jamie, that make more sense for your energy and that gate 5. But not being afraid to have a limit on time and not sitting there with your doors open from 9 to 5 every day is going to be so much more helpful, right? How many like metaphysical stores do you see and their hours are like 1 to 6, right? You need to operate more so on that schedule because it's really not always necessary. To that point, right? You also want to think about other ways that people can gain access to you without having to always be physically available as a projector, right? I was just having this conversation. That's why I have $10 mini audios for people, 5 minutes. It's like you can listen to it again and again as a personal mantra and a little audio of like, yes, this is who I am, right? Like those types of things. I do it for the things that are fun. If you're a writer, for example, maybe you prefer written word instead of spoken word instead, although you have a defined throat. So you could go either way. Thank you, Jamie. Those types of things that we see. Maybe you like to do PDFs as your, semi-passive income versus an audio, right? Like you can kind of work around like what feels good for you. The biggest thing that I'll say too, to build your business sustainably, especially right now during Virgo season with the transits as a projector and gate 33, it's like you have gate 33 naturally. So it's what makes you naturally selective in what you tell people. I also love that you don't belabor your gate 39 gate of provocation. A lot of people see 2 gates and they use it as an excuse to be rude. It's either gate of provocation, gate 39, or gate 51, which is the gate of shock, And naturally, when you just show up, like you think about like if you walked into your, foster family or certain areas of Pittsburgh, where people are like, go Birds or whatever, the Steelers, Phillies, or the Eagles or the Go Birds. Okay, let's just use Philly as an example because I said Go Birds. If you went down there and said, go Steelers versus go Birds, there may be people that will it's provocative naturally just you wearing a jersey versus having to go and be provocative in that space, right? So it's like knowing that you naturally provoke certain energies in people that they're supposed to alchemize. It's very Scorpio. And also your Pluto is gate 5. So there's in teaching and being strict 855 with your boundaries and your time. That's how you really teach people how to treat you, and just knowing really when to be available. That's a huge thing that's going to be happening really until September, or September I should say, is when we have Saturn going retrograde officially. So like beefing up your boundaries, Saturn in Pisces, very, very important. Oh yeah, very provocative in my job because people do not want to be better for foster children. Yeah, and see, that's where it's like, it's good. Like that's provocation with like for good. It's like if you were a projector that was getting on here and sharing like, I have to think of something. You know, this is why you should give projectors their credit, manifesting generators who suck and have all the energy. Like, it's like naturally, hi Josh, naturally, you're going to be somebody who, in sharing what you know and sharing what you want to share, you're going to be provocative without having to do that, right? It's like leading by example as a king or queen, Josh as well, as a projector, right, is exactly what's going to get you the attention. Just by showing up and putting the reps to be seen and sharing your wisdom, it's like, oh, that person thinks critically. That person can think about this thing for me because I don't have the bandwidth to think about this thing. I want to hire this person because I know that their skill set, and I can see that their skill set is the right thing. It's just being willing to show up, right? And as a projector, your environment is also super important to you. So what I was saying, I think last week to you, thank you, Josh, is that your environments are super important. Have your elevator pitch in the back of your mind and start showing up in places like Easton. Like, where are there places that you want to get recognition, right? I did a human design happy hour in Easton at Belleville Market. Although, like, them as people, I'm like, you don't appreciate if you like go in there and you know, pretty much have your event all ready to go, you're fine. But like as people, like it's just a machine, right? And I'm like, okay, if I wanted a machine, I would go to Amazon, not go to this cute little marketplace, right? So just, again, vetting where you're vending. I want to do a whole podcast episode about that. That's been trying to come out for a while, but vetting where you're vending is also something that's really important as a projector. Like, you know, there are sometimes you'll see people that you're like a silly human, you know, as a projector, but like, is there a way that you can say silly human and then still work with them in a good way? Or is it like, silly human, you're actually gonna like fuck up my reputation if I work here, and just paying attention to that as well. So, you know, what does that line kind of look like? Again, vetting your vendors is also, you know, I feel like, Josh, that probably means so many things to you, but yeah, absolutely. I love that. And it's like, you know, where are the good places? Like, I feel like even for you, like looking at, like yoga studios, also, like, it's so funny because shelters really come up for you. Shelter, you saw him from New Jersey. I think of your grandpa Noel. just the rest. I'm shaking my arm. Like fundraisers where people, if you go to like there's a place in Massachusetts called Rosie's Place. If you look up Rosie's Place, it's a women's shelter, and usually what they'll do is like people who are on the board of facilities like that. Well, hi Marana, welcome. Will have like a fundraiser, and I like put up like a 1 hour reading with me for one of those before, not at Rosie's Place specifically, but no Vossa energy, no. It's so true, Papa Italiano. But yeah, like doing things like that, I really see for you. So just in my kind of psychic way. Also, what just caught my eye before I leave you is gate 28, gate of the game player. It's like your voice, and like also having a specific like beginning, middle, and ending to everything you're saying, and really like being aware of like the structure of writing and the structure of speaking, because the average attention span, this is like really good advice that I'll give you, the average attention span for people is 45 minutes. So when you are talking for an hour, hola Yanette, welcome. When you're talking, if you're looking to have bien, gracias. Let me see. Yo hablo un poco. Lo siento para mi español. mi prometido es cubano. So that's the solamente way that you'll say in my Spanglish. But I'm getting better. I'm practicing. What was I gonna say? But yeah, Julia, just as I finish up with you, like the 45-minute point or the 40-minute point is where you kind of want to make your soft pitch. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, yeah, it's like also looking at, what I would also look at for you, Julia, is the moth. Even though it's like button poetry adjacent, I would look at the moth. And then also watch, like, I loved, when I found Malcolm Gladwell, he's one of my, like, OG, like, favorite, like, high school, like, authors that I started reading in like late high school, early college. His interviews in like the 92nd Street Y. Just looking at the cadence and the structure, and like as a projector, like doing your reps with watching the TED Talks is part of the steps for like really being like, okay. And also, oh bien. So we're the what is it? La misma? The same. Para ti inglés, para mí español un poco. Oh, okay. Of course. Mi amiga Noel aquí, what do I say? Ella, her esposo, lo siento, esposo es El Salvadoreño. Or is that the proper way, or from El Salvador? I know she's laughing at me right now, trying to do this in a good way. But yeah, Julia, I just say that to like make it really easy for people to say yes to you. Like, if you go and look at the website for someone who's done a TED Talk, what do they have, like, and when you start to do your in-person readings, like, put up your phone. Oh yeah, there we go. Put up your phone. So that you're recording everything horizontally that goes on YouTube. Doesn't matter. It's not meant for everybody on YouTube, but that's part of what you can use for your speaker reel. So that also being something that I would suggest for you to do. Thinking about, again, working smarter, not harder, to what you said earlier. I think it was you, one of the projectors that said it earlier, you or Rachel. Like thinking about everything that you do in the present. This is also very much your 4323 channel of structuring. We similarly, because for me, it's my aqua placements. We're always a little bit ahead of our body in terms of like, you're always thinking a little bit ahead for like, okay, if I want to do a TED Talk, I'm going to need a speaker reel. So when I start speaking and I want it to be a talk that I capture for other people to see, and I already am making it easier, instead of me filming a speaker reel in my room, I want to make sure that I'm filming that. And then I think, okay, this isn't going on TikTok, it's going on YouTube. So what does that also mean? It means I need a tripod that's horizontal, like those kinds of things. That I'll just put the seed for you now in the Virgo. Yes, I am. In the Virgo energy that I have right now. So, or like the Virgo energy that we all have right now. And then gate 29 that I didn't want to forget to touch on too, since no one booked right after you, is really watching out for the proper invitations. Gracias, Janet. Just because you get an invitation doesn't mean that you have to accept it. And so really the vocabulary that I use for myself, also with this in mind, when I'm like, somebody asks me to do something, is like, what am I in it for? I'll have somebody, exactly. And like, what are you truly, even if it's not financial compensation, if you do a talk somewhere, is it playing into, exactly, remembering your why, like, is it playing into what you need, right? And it's interesting because like your gate 18 Libra Mars is where our Mars has been in Libra. And it's that fear of authority, or also people that are older than you being threatened by the fact that you know more than them at such a young age. Because like you're like, yeah, it wasn't a choice. Like, you're also Saturn dominant Venus. You're like, yeah, this shit was hard. Like, I'm sorry I had to learn because like I didn't grow up in a white picket fence like family, So it's like, it gives you a resilience that not a lot of people have, and also like is losing itself in certain ways also in your generation, in a lot of ways. It's not for all, but like it's a little bit of the like the way that I forget, it's not boomer generation, but like whatever like that generation was, in terms of like certain parents that created a little too much lack of resiliency doing for you. Let me see. 30 año, 31. 20 año is 21. 31 or uno. Not uno. Dios, pero you no say 30 en español, pero 31. 31? Yo say. Aw, enjoy your walk. I'll see you, Noel. I'll talk to you. Okay, gracias. But yeah, so a lot of fun things for you, Julia. Thank you for entertaining mi español towards the end here in the meantime, but I'll email you the recording so that you can have it. It'll take a little bit to process, but that you can have the recording to listen back to. So yeah, you're welcome. And again, for all of you, especially my projectors, like that, I said this to a projector 2 days ago on my Energy of the Day video that they had written down, or it actually was just, no, was it today? No, yesterday. That it's just a matter of like, if that desire is on your heart and you want to do a TED Talk, you're capable of doing a TED Talk. It's just a matter of like the quantum leaping of like, okay, I want to do a TED Talk, but like, yeah, that's perfect. No, I feel you. Go live now, right? Like, you got your reading, girl, go. You know, like this would be the time. Like, that's taking the momentum while you have it is important, right? And then what you can also do if you go into your live studio on your desktop, is you can download your live, you can download your live video so you have it. So if it's a live that you also kind of want to save in the future for like a speaker reel, and that's something you want to send to, you know, a place like the Loving Piece because you want to speak there or at a yoga studio, and that is the yoga studio that leads to the bigger event, so on and so forth. Like those are also things that you can do so you have them available. Just a little mentor tip for you. So but yeah, it's again, like I was saying earlier, thank you, Josh, it's just a matter of when you're gonna do it, when it happens, not if. And like with all my Pisces, I'm like, the delusion really is the solution, and all our mutable energy, all my Scorpio, like it's so funny when people assume that I'm not a skeptic. I'm like, I'm literally a gate 63 Pisces sun. It's literally the gate of doubt and the skeptic. Like I operate mostly, hi Nicole, out of guilty until proven innocent, but in a way that's still loving because I'm still a Pisces. So it's like that my heart is still open, but I'm just like, okay, time and a place for the people who are like, who can I tell all that to, Julia? And like, you're actually going to appreciate me versus somebody who's like, bye. You know what I mean? Like just like abuses the relationship. So, you know, that kind of energy. So thank you. I'm excited for you. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate that. Josh, do you have anything you're working on that you want to share? Any of my projectors, anything you guys are working on before I'm going to head out in about 15 minutes or so. 9:30 the latest. I have like 2 more spots open. Love you too. Enjoy. But if anyone books a spot, obviously in the last 2 spots I have open, we'll do it. But any of my projectors, if you guys have anything that you're working on that you want to share, I invite you to do so in the comments if you'd like to. Or just what your work is. I think you were saying, Josh, you do some, I want to say that you were doing something with shadow work. You know what's so funny is that with Josh and Sherry, like the energy of you guys together, like I feel like you remind me of She-Wolf, who's on here that does crystals, but her husband is like as a ghost hunter and has done like professional ghost hunting, and you guys feel like that cool like couple energy, or like if the Blair Witch Project went right, like that kind of energy. So I'm from the United States. I'm from New Jersey. Originally, so very close to, in the words of Bad Bunny, Nueva York. So like 45 minutes outside of New York, but New Jersey, yeah. Some words I say, you can hear it in my accent. Yeah, of course. I don't. Maybe it's Sherry. Sorry, Josh was here last time, but it's nice to meet you, Sherry, too. Or if you guys are together. But yeah, like good team, like duo. A good duo is projectors too. Like that can just take you so far. Jamie, oh yeah. I'm working on getting my emotion code practice going. So I have been going live every day since Sunday at 5 Central. I love that, Jamie. That's amazing. Oh my God. I actually had one of my first generator mentees from Alaska also did emotion codes. Her name's Trisha, and it's so interesting. I think it started out west somewhere, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's interesting. Lisa, not bashing, judging, but why does every human design seem to talk about projectors mostly? Well, it just happens to be like now tonight because a lot of you do. Oh, you don't do it, but I feel it's a lot. It's because most of the bigger people that are here on TikTok that are in human design are projectors. Like Brandy Livingston, I think is her name. Brandy is a projector. Who else? I forget because I don't really, as a fellow creator, I really have to be, like, I'm strict on not consuming. And also because it's like a way for like helpful recognition for projectors. I think projectors also tend to be the most inquisitive because they're talked over the most. And yeah, so, but it's funny because most projectors talk about projectors now, but for a long time, it was only generators and manifesting generators because statistically 70% of your audience is going to be generators and manifesting generators. Like Manny Jens, we think we just know it all. It's true. I think honestly more so for me that comes from my Aquarius rising. I think you're an Aqua rising too, Lisa, right? It's more so the Aquarius rising. I'm like, I'm a know-it-all because maybe I do know it all. Maybe I have read it in a book once or twice. Yeah, exactly. I was like, I think it's more that. As a Manny Gen, it's like we've just done it all, right? Like we're just like, oh, like I'm just, so crazy. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Wait, let me go back to oh, Sherry is a man gen and I'm a 6'2" splenic projector. I love that. So I'm so much so as a splenic projector. I say like spleens or splenic authority are like the higher octave of sacral in a lot of ways. Oh, I love that, Marie. That's so beautiful. Imagine like I wish I had a mom that could have raised me on some of this information when I was 3. Like crazy. Like how good would that have been? It's been a beautiful journey building our relationship. I love that. Many projectors were conditioned like in a man gen world. Yes, and are learning to decondition and find us. It's true. Because it's like power in numbers, right? And like in community and being able to like connect with people that reflect back like your energy. And then you think of Marie here, who's a reflector, even more of a refining, right? And like finding it hard to find people who are a part of that. But what you guys as projectors have the upper hand in a lot of ways is like I can explain like and all my Gemini in the 5th house. Yeah, exactly. And Uranus being there right now. I was like, Uranus is also about children, and Gemini is also about, Uranus is about chaos. Gemini 5th house is about children. So I'm like, do the math and wrap it twice. Is what I'll say. Be extra careful. in my Scorpio way, my New Jersey way. My New Jersey comes out. But just be careful at this time. Yeah. My poor projectors or my people were like, my ears in the audience. But no, I just say that to be like, we need to have that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. But like, how healing is that for you, Josh? Like, just knowing that, like, in doing that for your projector daughter, like, I love that. I mean, that's like just what beautiful medicine for your projector soul that, like, you're able to have that ability to just, like, nurture yourself through her, right? I also see, like, there's such a beautiful, soft, divine, feminine energy. Although, honestly, even, like, super divine masculine energy in projector men, who are in like, follow like, heteronormative lifestyle, like such beautiful medicine and like being like the men who can actually talk, and use words and like, your kids aren't like this all the time. Instead, you can all celebrate like this, to live like this. It just really being able to like, have that beautiful medicine for your family, like, and just being able to have the vocabulary to understand. Like I always say at the core, like human design is a science of differentiation. So when you are celebrating the science of being different, like what a beautiful like way to just like raise, truly, and in my, corny spiritualese, like raise the vibration of the world truly, it's like just really fighting the good fight is the best way that I can say it. I'm so glad that it's been powerful through the both of you sitting on your throne. I love that she has strawberries on her dress too in the Rider-Waite deck. But yeah, so just more things talking about how the world goes round, but in a lot of in the spirit of, you know, grounding and anchoring in that energy of all types to make the world go round. Like, it really is celebrating our individuality and how it's silly to get jealous or feel like somebody else is putting you out by just them being themselves brightly. I know all my Leo risings, my Cancer risings, my projectors, reflectors, manifestors, like, you guys being the luminaries and or like the luminaries, if you will, of the human design world. Like, it's like, just because somebody can be louder because they have more energy as a generator or manifesting generator doesn't mean they're that, you know, all that in a bag of chips. Like, just not letting them take you out of your priestess energy. Yeah, I found in my late 30s and out 44. Oh, such a good numerology too. I'm going back to reconnect with my adult children different. Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that. Yeah, it's like, just like being able to have in like the connection of like, I'm sorry I didn't see you. I could only see you through my lens, or, you know, I trust your vocabulary, obviously, your projector, but like, just how we wish, like, some of us wish that our parents would just come to us with that vocabulary. I was just having that conversation with my reflector today, and how you know, she had got divorced, left her husband, and is in a new relationship now, and how her dad doesn't understand that. And as a reflector, I was saying to her, you know, tip for you, Marie, as well, is that when you allow a reflector to always have, thank you, little Libra, thank you, Nicole, that childlike innocence. Oh, I see here. Okay, wait, there we go. Sorry, oh, thank you, Jamie. All these got blocked. I just unblocked the comments here. Of allowing you to have that childlike innocence. Like, I love that you have a 3-year-old, and like, you literally are like the fairy emoji, just like constantly reminding us, like, you're allowed to have Peter Pan syndrome because you truly are like such an ethereal being. The quickest kind of way that I can explain the difference between generators and manifesting generators is that my projectors, or excuse me, generators, man-gens, the sacrals, human beings having a spiritual experience. You guys, my non-sacrals, projectors, reflectors, and manifestors, are more like spiritual beings having a human experience. It's like, in our duty, I teach you how to human on this plane and navigate Earth, you know, beep boop human. Whereas like, you teach us like really how to come to a place of like spiritual grace, spiritual enlightenment in a lot of ways, you know, and just being able to have that kind of like, that just inherent wisdom. It's like not something that you really have to work for, but more so just like, okay, what's the way that I can translate what I feel in a way that, like, I say respectfully, like the Oonga Boonga generators and manifesting generators can understand. Like, how do I make you make sense? And I feel like if you lead even with the fact of like, I feel like I'm more of a spirit, you know, trapped in a human body than a human with a spirit inside me, that can also be like, you know, finding your vocabulary of saying that in a way that feels like a little bit better, you know, for you guys too. So I find more wisdom in the silence now than when I try to be recognized. There's so much power, and like in the spirit of Gate 59 this week, it's so much sexier for a projector to know that they're smart and to lean back in that, and like that quiet confidence. Like, that is something that only a projector can really fully embody. Like, no other energy type, no other placement is really able to do that in a way like a projector can. A manifestor's too busy being the HBIC, and as a reflector, you're like, I'm having too much fun for that. Like, as much as I can be like demure, like, it's you want to just experience, and you're the ones that allow us to like still have fun. I don't know if you guys have ever watched, hi Juan, welcome. Howdy. If you guys have ever watched Real Housewives of Orange County, but there was a woman, she actually just passed away not that long ago, and she was one of the moms of this woman, Lydia. And she would bring fairy dust everywhere and like sprinkle fairy dust over people. And I'm like, that is like literally a reflector in action. Like that's what a reflector, you know, is looking like, especially having a 3-year-old. It's easy to have glitter everywhere in some capacity, or crayons or toys or Legos or whatever the, you know, the medium of choice is. But yeah, I see that a lot. I forget her name. What was her name? Lydia. Hold on. Now I'm like, my manifesting generatorness is like, Lydia. Lydia McLaughlin. Oh, Judy was her mom's name. Aw, yeah, she passed away from breast cancer, but she was really sweet. She was like a good example of that. But yeah, there's just something about a projector, like a quiet confidence that like can really precede you, where like you are, if you think of a movie projector, your movie is always, and your auras are energetically always being projected outward. So like if you're just really clear about, you know, being the person that's like the screenwriter, you know what movie's playing, you have that script down, it really does you a lot of favors to lead with that wholeheartedly moving forward. And again, like your energy kind of preceding you in that way, so that you can be the star and the sun. I think a lot of it is just like a lot of projectors do also have a hard time being able to refine their energy wisely and like knowing like, all right, I only got this many spoons, like how can I use this the most effectively? So a lot, I attract all that to say my projector Patreon, to Lisa's point earlier, is my largest, because like I'm an artist manager, so I'm like, what's your skill? How can we make sure that you get the recognition that you need? My September training I mentioned earlier is literally all about that, where it's like, how do you get the recognition? Where do you go? What's the script? Like if you literally just do this in order, steps 1 through 5, like this is the literal tangible result that you will get. That's why I'm also really big on the vocabulary of like practical integration as well. So just kind of leaning into that, but yeah. I can keep yapping in the last 9 minutes, but if you guys have any questions, just, you know, it's the quiet, let me see, eight of us here. Anything that you guys want to ask me at this point? Yes, I do. You're welcome, Lisa. I do, and I will be back tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time to do more readings and chat as well. But I do astrocartography readings as well. I really love it for helping people learn where they're going to travel, where they're going to live, and also like from a client's perspective too. But we also, again, we can't just look at the lines and be like, my Venus line is here, like this would be amazing. It's like, how is your Venus aspected to other locations? And what are your lines that are crossing to? So just really other things to pay attention to. But I love astrocartography. It's so funny because I always say that Dom and Michelle, who are the popular duo that do readings on TikTok Live just for astrocartography, that Dom used to be a consistent shopper or regular at the Whole Foods that my fiance used to manage in New Jersey before they moved. So I was like, this is so funny. And the reason that I know that is because I was on their TikTok Live one time, and my fiance was like, wait, I know Dom, like I know who that is. And I was like, wait, how? He was like, they used to come into Whole Foods all the time. So it's so funny. It's like it's red string, red thread theory. Yeah, absolutely. I'll do it for you tomorrow, Lisa, if you're free. I'd love to do a reading for you tomorrow on that. You can just type in like 10 minutes, $13, and then just type in astrocartography, and then we could do that instead. Excuse me. But I love it. Again, like knowing it all as an Aquarius rising, like we're like need all the data to process code, like alien Aquarian. It's so interesting. I also, funny for rising signs, right? And how everyone says that there are specific traits, like a Taurus rising tends to be more broad in certain ways. Cancer risings tend to look like the beautiful little Victorian moon faces. Leo risings also have beautiful hair. Those kinds of energies. Oh, that's awesome, Josh. I love that. Helpful, for sure. For sure, you want to look into astrocartography for that. But as Aquarius risings, because we pride ourselves in being different, right? And loving the underdog and doing things differently. Usually we tend to look like the highest density of the stellium that we have. So like, even though I'm an Aquarius rising, and I do have that kind of like, you could see that in my face, I'm a Pisces, which you can also see in my eyes and like the pretty fish kind of like features. So I'm like, it's so funny when I tell people I'm a Pisces stellium, but also an Aquarius rising. They're like, oh wait, I can see that. And I was like, I know. That kind of energy too. Reading perfections. So we would just look at what your transits are for the year, Nicole, but perfection years, I would just be looking at perfection years are when you are perfecting a house year. So it's specifically the 7 the 12 parts of the pizza pie in your natal chart. So we'd be looking at like that perfection year, but like we would just look at your transit chart. So yeah, I can definitely do that reading on a live. Again, I'll be on tomorrow, so that way if you guys want to join tomorrow to do for finding out where you want to live, I definitely could do that. And it's sometimes I like it easier because it's like, oh, that you just need this one part. You don't have to look at all of your astral cartography. If you guys want to book ahead, I will have more time to look at like different aspects as well versus just the one. So I could look at if you want to book now, Josh, for tomorrow, I can look at both of your charts versus just one of your charts, because realistically it'll take me 5 minutes just to input all the data. But if you want, I can, if you book now, I'll do it ahead of time for you guys. You can put both your info in there. 7:30 my time. Yeah, so I think that's 6:30 Eastern or Central. I think Central is an hour ahead of me, but yeah, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, and then I'll be on till about 9:30 tomorrow as well. So that we have that too. $13, Josh. I keep them affordable. I don't like, you know, in the spirit of doing things on live to help people, not trying to charge you $130. It's a tactic. People do it, but you know, the Pisces in me finds it cruel. But Marie said, oh, for an open valley and dry kitchens environment, would a clean home with plants be the perfect living environment? I mean, I think that's a perfect living environment no matter what, but basically, yes. Dry kitchens would be like, I always think of like your kitchen just being like everything has a place. Valleys also is like, and kitchens really do well when you do have a kitchen island. And if somebody's sitting at the kitchen island, but maybe you also have a little breakfast nook, everyone can kind of be in the same space. Like I have a semi-open concept where my living room looks into my kitchen with like a half wall kind of blocking the two. So like that's a perfect environment because like you can kind of, both of you can always kind of listen into what's going on in the kitchen from the living room, but you don't always have to feel pressured to participate in the conversation. So yeah, absolutely, Josh. So when you go to my TikTok page, there's a link in my bio that says, it says book a reading in my bio, and then it points down, and then it's Brenna Keeley /links. The third rectangle down is TikTok live mini readings, and then you'll just sign up through there. And then it's a secure payment processor. I do that so it blocks off time so that it just keeps me organized with knowing that everyone has their time and their spot. Because sometimes people will try to book like 3 people at a time, and I'm like, the Cash App just gets messy really quickly. So, and then it'll send you a reminder, and then I'll also have your email address that's protected, that doesn't go anywhere online. So I can send you your recording back too. So you can watch it again and again. I record over on YT Live, so you'll have it there. Yeah, just to keep it easy, or else I feel like this. I feel like this instead of trying to feel like this to help you guys, because we're really trying to do this. I love that these have come up today so perfectly. But yeah, I just like to be able to, I'm like, what do you guys want? Like, I can do so many things as a manifesting generator, but like, what do you want me to do so I could do it well? But yeah, so the link is in my bio for that. But I'll wind down here for the evening. It was nice to see and talk with you guys for tonight. Again, I'll be on, I'm always on YouTube and TikTok Live simultaneously, dual streaming 7:30 to 9:30 Eastern Standard Time on both platforms on Wednesdays and Thursdays. And then once a week, every 6 days, I post a new weekly transit video that breaks down the sun gate placement, which can also be a gate that you have in your human design body graph. So if you guys want a deeper dive on the gates or the gifts that you have in your human design, this week was gate 59. Next week is going to be gate 40. What do we have right after that? 64, 47, 6, 46, 18 in that order. I did gate 29 the week prior, so that's up there as well as all the Leo placements and Leo gate placements there. Yeah, and I think that's all my housekeeping for the evening. So it was nice to see you guys. Josh, Sherry, Marie, Lisa. Thank you guys. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Julia, for doing a reading tonight. Saltwater, Nicole. Yeah, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your evening. Bye, Plutonian Priestess. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you soon. I'll see you tomorrow. Catherine, Malaga,